climate change is now affecting every country on every continent. With a long coastline of 1076 kilometers, Tamil Nadu, located in the southern part of India, is potentially highly sensitive and vulnerable to climate change and its impacts, which is disrupting economy and affecting lives of people and communities in Tamil Nadu. As a consequence of climate change-induced sea level rise, the state faces a larger threat of submergence, coastal flooding, and coastal erosion. Scientists and researchers fear that rise in temperature, erratic rainfall pattern, intensity of cyclones, and extremities will make situation worse in the days to come.
People may suffer extremely for water resources for irrigation because groundwater tapping is more acute in most of the districts in Tamil Nadu, especially western districts, completely exploited. So in this condition, further exploitation and without monsoon rainfall, there will be havoc and the agriculture production will be reduced very badly. So rural economy automatically will reduce. As far as the coastal region is concerned, fishery population due to more soil sea acidification and sea level rise, surface temperature all put together, it gives a very big problem in the marine organism, especially fishery production. If for example, in those days a very good rainfall used to come. During the rainfall, all detritus and other dead materials will go from catchment to sea. The detritus are the main food for these fishes. Now the detritus are very less due to non-flow of this stream and water. So ultimately this kind of problems indirectly affect the fishery production.
In view of the fact that local vulnerabilities due to climate change can be addressed more adequately at local level itself, the state of Tamil Nadu has prepared its State Action Plan on Climate Change or TNSAPCC, keeping in mind the overall vision Tamil Nadu 2023.
Department of Environment, Government of Tamil Nadu comes under Environment and Forest Department in the Secretariat of Government of Tamil Nadu. Department of Environment is the nodal department for all the climate change adaptation and mitigation works. So basically when you have any projects in under Green Climate Fund or National Adaptation Fund for Climate Change or any other projects related to climate change, it has to go through Department of Environment. State Action Plan for Climate Change for Tamil Nadu was endorsed in the year 2015, the first State Action Plan. And for Tamil Nadu, we had sectors, priority sectors like sustainable agriculture, we had forest and biodiversity, coastal area management, sustainable urban development, and we had water resources, and we had the knowledge management along with the energy sector also. We had an agroclimatic zone wise like a kind of a workshop for the public. We had fishermen, we have school teachers who had come and they have given their version of what is to be done in the State Action Plan and what are their views and what could be added. So this was a kind of a action plan which was endorsed in the year 2015.
Tamil Nadu State Action Plan on Climate Change or TNSAPCC predicts that the state could have climate-related events of higher intensity in the coming years, and hence the state is already undertaking a range of sectoral initiatives that are climate-friendly. TNSAPCC places high importance on scientific assessment, sectoral adaptation and mitigation projects to combat climate change, capacity building and strategic knowledge sharing, and multi-stakeholder engagement. Scientific assessment, accessing climate data,
global projection as well as our climate projection modeling using a SimClim model. We have found about 30 centimeter up to 1 meter rise is possible at the end of the century for the state of Tamil Nadu along the coastal line. 1 meter rises in the sea level, about 1 lakh hectare land is likely to be inundated. Many people have to shift their place, that is, they will become refuges. And another thing is the aquifer may be contaminated, more saline water, that is likely to affect agriculture practices, drinking water of the coastal people, everything is going to be a problem. This is one of the major issue for Tamil Nadu state. We have a tie-up with the UK Met Office, that's Hadley Center, software called Prezi. Using that, we downloaded the data, climate data for Tamil Nadu state, and we have analyzed the data, and it clearly reveals the minimum temperature, maximum temperature, both are going to rise. That is, daytime as well as nighttime temperature is going to increase, and the increase may up to 4 degrees Celsius. Our model projection indicate about 4% decrease in the rainfall pattern. Not only this, in the extreme rainfall event, that is rainfall above 25 centimeter in a single day, is likely to increase, and the increase from the current level, 5% increase likely to occur. Okay, heavy rainfall means flooding. This is what most of the infrastructure as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, not very good, I can say, to manage this.
Sectoral adaptation and mitigation projects to combat climate change. Tackling soil erosion in Javadu Hills.
So in Javadu Hills, about 90% of the farmers are tribal people. They are depending on rain-fed cultivation. They get rain on October, November, December. But nowadays the climate is changing. They are not getting the proper rain. They will get 1 month rain in 1 or 2 days. So it will be very much heavy. So their soil and their crop will be leached out. Damage will be very high. And after that they will migrate to other states like Kerala, Karnataka for agriculture labor work. So because they don't get good income from their crop. If there is soil erosion, their fertilizer and manure will be leached out, so that they will not get any yield. So what we are promoting is stone bunding. Stone bunding is done to control soil erosion, and for that they have increased the yield. We have promoted organic manures like vermicompost and organic compost, city compost. We are giving that manures. They are increasing the nutrient of the soil. Before that, in 1 acre they got around 500 to 600 kgs of little millet in previous season. But after implementing the stone bunding and they have applied organic manure also, the yield was doubled.
இந்த திட்டத்தின் மூலமாக அதிகமான விவசாயிகள் வளர்ச்சி அடையத்துக்கான ஒரு முக்கிய ஒரு குறிக்கோளாக விளங்குது. நானும் அறக்கட்டளையும் அது திட்டத்தில் செயல்பட்டு கொண்டிருக்கிற கணேஷ் சார் மற்றும் ராம்ராஜ் சார், இவர்கள் எல்லாமே எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப அதிகமான ஒரு ஊக்குவிக்கிறாங்க எங்களை.
So nowadays they have a good confidence on their income on this little millet cultivation.
Managing coastal area in Gulf of Mannar.
So nowadays the major threat to the coastal areas is the climate change, and in Gulf of Mannar we have 21 islands. Already 2 islands are submerged, and the 3rd island was in the verge of submergence. Protection and restoration of that submerging island, that is the Vahan Island, is also one of the components of that National Adaptation Fund for climate change. Other 3 components are: one is coral rehabilitation. So because we are losing the habitat, so we need to do some intervention. So coral rehabilitation techniques are standardized in Gulf of Mannar by our institution. So far more than 16 acres of degraded coral reef areas are rehabilitated. Because in coral rehabilitation the success is mainly based on monitoring and maintenance. There will be some disturbance due to the fishermen, those who do fishing in that area, and also because of the currents or waves, and the rehabilitated fragments will be discharged, or some bleaching or sedimentation. Those things have to be replaced in the meantime, and if you do a very good regular monitoring, systematic monitoring, and also the maintenance, and you will achieve very good success in coral rehabilitation. Another component is seagrass rehabilitation. That also we started in 2008, standardizing a very low tech and low cost technique. We rehabilitated nearly 4 square kilometer degraded area. That is also going on very well, and there also we do the maintenance and monitoring and maintenance.
Increasing groundwater level in Pusarapettai.
In my watershed area, 120 open wells are there, 90 bore wells are there. Before the interventions, the water table was very low, only 2 to 3 meters in the water table. After the implementations, we are creating new structures, farm pond, percolation ponds, check dams, gully blocks, field bunds, and so many structures we are created. In the time, the water are stored and percolated in the ground. The water table also increased. We are monitored the well monitoring system. Every month they are follow the monitoring systems. Now after the completions, the water table was 5 to 7 meter. The water table was increased. The farmers are cultivate more lands of cultivate in this field also.
Controlling impact of natural disasters in Pachavaram. Providing sustainable habitat in Perambakam.
We rehabilitate families who were living on the banks of the Kuvam and Adayar river. It was very threat to their life due to floods and other natural disasters. And so the Tamil Nadu Slum Clearance Board under the CRRT project in coordination with the Public Work Department and Greater Chennai Corporation rehabilitate the families who are living on the banks to a safer rehabilitation site like Perumbakam, Godapakam, Navalur and All India Radio schemes of the board. These families were facing threat at the disaster during the floods, and now they have given a safe environment. They are protected with a good housing scheme so that they are safe and they are not prone to the disasters. In coordination with the Greater Chennai Corporation and PWD, Tamil Nadu Slum Clearance Board is implementing this project. During the period where they were living earlier, they didn't have even a toilet to attend their natural calls. So that was also a pollution to the environment. Now the Slum Clearance Board has provided them with individual toilets so that they are also safe and also the environment is protected.
And government takes a lot of initiatives to settle down in the new areas because their ration shops, Aadhaar cards and all other linkages which they were having in the earlier locations have to be shifted. So we don't want the people to go and search for these areas, and without any hurdles The government brings all the departments into the scheme area itself and facilitates them by giving ration cards, Aadhaar cards, all the facilities, hospitals, everything is given to them in the scheme itself. So this is the biggest scheme in Asia and it is working out very successfully.
Capacity building, sharing of strategic knowledge.
With the support of GIZ, the German agency, we are conducting training program jointly with the Department of Environment for the different sectoral people, officers involved in managing this, agriculture, biodiversity, health, like all these sectoral people we are inviting at a district level. We are going to Tamil Nadu across a different district, and we invite all these officers responsible for managing this climate adaptation, and we are sensitizing them to come for active participation, especially in their planning. They have to focus on this climate aspects. So training program we are doing on behalf of Government of Tamil Nadu, jointly with them of course for different offices.
And multi-stakeholder engagement.
We have seen that for Tamil Nadu, it was something very unique, the State Action Plan for Climate Change. It was both top-bottom top approach. Why? Because we have a steering committee where we have all the secretaries, we have the State Planning Commission, we have some of the major institutes like Madras School of Economics, we have the NABARD also in a steering committee. Then we have the NGOs involved. We have the institutions like IIT, Anna University, the state institutions involved. Then we have even the experts in the subjects of coastal area, the forestry, So this was an involvement of it was a multi-stakeholder, kind of an document where all the multi-stakeholders have involved themselves in this document. People are aware, but I feel we should also take the help of the institutions, because there should be some scientific basis. Everybody knows there is climate change happening, but there is some climatic disturbances, like suddenly you have a heavy rainfall in short time, but also you require scientific basis to it so that people understand it well. So we have to take the institutions and the universities along with us. So that is another thing. We should not work in silo, but take them along with us so that we have a scientific data even to the children and public and policymakers. Unless you have a scientific data, then it is very easy to convince. So I think we should all go along in a holistic way to deal with climate change.